I'm 27, I have 3 kids, currently unemployed, and I'm forced to stay with my mom. Now, I just want to give a shout out to all the channels on YouTube that have similar titles like the one on this video and similar experiences, just because those videos are the videos that made me feel more comfortable about my situation and made me feel more it gave me a sense of comfort, like that I'm not the only person alone in a situation like this, about to hit 30, don't have everything figured out, and etc. I definitely want to give a big shout out to Pauly Walnuts because I've been super into his channel as of lately, and he's actually one of the people that inspired me to make this channel, but also inspired me to just speak my mind about the stuff that's going on and with my life and etc. And among other channels that give advice on how to be a man, finances, how to go about certain things with women, buying cars, etc. All those channels during the last couple of months has been very helpful for me, and has actually given me hope to get out of my situation that I am currently in. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, 27, 3 kids, unemployed, living with your mom. How the hell did that happen? How did you end up with 3 kids? How did you end up unemployed? You're still so young, etc., etc. So there's over the last couple years, I've been making decisions that I didn't realize wasn't the best for myself and for the future. And again, this channel is basically going to be about documenting my way out of this experience, but also giving a little blueprint to my children on how daddy got out of the situation, but also when I do pass, there's something there that they could reflect on my life experiences, and so they can learn from my mistakes. I mean, I know 20 years from now is not going to be the same how it is in the present day with AI and the way how the world's changing, how we interact. But I believe that there are certain principles, foundations, and basics that if you get right and right, making sure that your mindset is correct, there's a lot of things that you can maneuver your way out of, and you can also be innovating your way out of, which is where I'm at today. So back to the question, how did we get here? So since I was about 17 years old, I always wanted to be in video production. I wanted to be a video producer, and I was always studying that. I went to school for it, and I was making strides in my career in certain ways, whether I was producing short films, getting jobs in the industry, and etc. But as everything goes, you find love, you settle down, etc., etc. Then you start to kind of take a backpedal on your aspirations, or you start making yourself lesser than what you can be to fit the other person's agenda or whatever may have you. And again, this is no shade to because this person is the person that I have kids with, right? All 3 of them, right? Sometimes things just don't work out. Again, we got together at a very young age, spent almost 7 years together, and things just didn't work out, right? But because of my trying to serve in my relationship and taking a back pedal off of what I had going on, among with a bunch of other things like consuming a bunch of social media, being very hyper focused on a passion of mine that wasn't really helping me or my family at the time. I didn't see that. Again, what you don't know is what you don't know. But also, again, with social media, telling you what you should be, the whole rise of the alpha male, and when you feel like you're getting beat up every day from different angles, you start to look for other antidotes to fix your problems. And unfortunately, I fell into the trap that those antidotes were poisoning me more, and I was basically getting fed a bunch of bullshit that made my situation worse. So what ended up happening is that me and that person split. We did live by ourselves. I currently reside in New York. I'm from New York. We moved to Jersey. I was living by myself with the person for about 5 years, maneuvered around a whole bunch of crazy stuff. So I know what it's like to live by myself and also take care of kids and etc. But we ended up splitting. I had to let go of my apartment in Jersey just because I couldn't afford no more. Again, I was a full-time business owner that wasn't making any money, and I was just so locked onto this dream to where it just ruined everything in my life. It basically did, and I'm sure that's part of why it didn't work out with me and this person, which is, again, it's fine. I'm not blaming anything on anybody, just my experience. I know where I went wrong with a couple of things, but I basically try to hold on to it. Again, me and this person split up for a year ago and some change. And then I recently, maybe a couple 5 months ago, decided I have to let go of this apartment and then basically restart over and not let go of the passion and the dream, but I basically have to reconfigure how I go about this, just because the world is changing. The world is changing, and your passion is not something that pays the bills anymore. It's not really realistic, and you basically just have to get realistic with your situation, but also with where the world is going. So it sounds pretty crazy, right? 3 kids, that's what you went through and blah blah. But again, you don't know what you don't know. Again, I'm 27, right? And I had the fear that I was like very far behind because I should have had this going and this going. And again, like, don't get me wrong, like there was a point in time where I had about $10,000 in savings. I had a great job. I was always able to get those jobs and etc. But like at this point in time, it's just a little harder just because I've been out of my elements in a full-time position in production, and that's something that I decided that I don't want to do full-time anymore because it's not gonna get me what I want in the future. If I want to buy a house, a condo, a car, like production is just too unstable. It's stressful, and also with AI, I just can't take any chances, right? So it's something that I am putting on for like a business, and I work on that on the side while actually getting a stable career, which was like a big change for me as well too, because from how I'm trying to look at everything, like what is safe in the future 10 years from now, but you can also like rise up in the ranks and have a great income, but also something I like doing. And then when I came to my mom's house, I was trying to figure that out, and I was like, yo, I have to take a trade, right? I have never been the type to build anything, put anything together, work in sewers or anything like that, but it's literally the only way at this point for me, just because again, the world with AI, you don't know what job market is going to be safe, and obviously like trades are very safe. There's no robots going to be building our stuff like for a while. And there's management jobs in construction, and my background is a lot of managing film industry projects, right? So I know how to delegate, I know how to manage a team, I'm a very sociable person, and etc. So it just makes sense for me to get into a trade, learn that skill, because I could actually turn that into a side hustle once I can really get good at it, but also like join an organization where I could be a construction project manager, making 6 figures, and like being able to like move anywhere I want, because everywhere has some type of construction projects, and a lot of people are not taking trades at this point just because, again, like the social media, everybody wants to be a TikToker, YouTuber, which is fine, it's great, but I from my research, there's not a lot of people trying to take those trade jobs anymore. And like once people are not trying to go into it, it's less competitive, and the pay raises up there as well too. So I'm trying to get in and build that and for the next 5 years. So again, I'm 27, that means I'll be 32. So if I lock down for the next 5 years, I should be good. And not just making that like the priority, but there's other things I'm doing on the side. Like I'm also going back to school. I was a school dropout. I went to college when I went when I was 18. I went to CUNY. Then I dropped out. I was going for psychology, but I decided to go back. I'm going to online school from a school that my mom actually recommended. She actually works for the city, and she's working on her second master's degree, and her city job actually were the people who recommended her to go to this school to get the second master's degree. So I'm like, I can't argue with that. Like if a city job told you to get a second master's degree and they recommended this place, and it's an online school where I can like pace myself and do whatever I want, I'm gonna go there. Plus like it's WGU, and WGU from my research also just gives degrees that are most valuable in today's marketplace and will be, I don't want to say future proof, but like are just the most valuable, and you don't have to spend $20,000, and you can self-regulate yourself and not take all the bullshit classes and etc. And I'm going for communications because that's what I like to do. I like to talk. I mean, hence the channel title name. Lance talks a lot. I like to communicate. I like to talk. I love doing it. So I'm going for communications, to be able to put that to use. If I am in project management for my business, I have a video production business. That's a whole other thing. And then also like doing things like this, YouTube, social media, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm at the point where I'm basically restarting everything in my life. And I'm grateful, because at first when I came here, I was 26, and then I turned 27 last October, and I was stressed out. I was like, man, I was having an identity crisis because I was an entrepreneur for 2 years straight, and like, barely making it work. Again, 2 kids at the time. I had my third child like not that long ago. It was a fucking mess. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's a fucking mess. And when I look at it, I'm like, damn, like I really was not thinking straight, especially having two little ones and another little one on the way, you know. So um yeah, pretty crazy, but again, you live and you learn. And like, the good thing about this is, like, again, like, I've seen a lot of videos where it's just like, people are alone and they want to have kids, and like men don't have love, and like blah blah blah. And like, I felt like coming on here, I don't want to say I have a that much of a unique perspective, but again, 27, three kids, was almost married because that was my fiance. Lived with a chick for 5 years, 6 years, and been through that whole shebang, like the whole love thing, like at the highest point it possibly can be. I feel like I can bring a different perspective to the platform, and for young men to, like, learn from my mistakes and not go here and here, and like, do things a little differently. And again, for my children that are growing up, especially my two sons, this is something for them to have a blueprint for the fundamentals when they are in their mid 20s or teenagers, and like, going into their late 20s, or whatever, early 20s, etc etc. So I basically just want to document my progress into my new career. I also want to document my progress on life and etc. Basically what you see the other channels doing, just because again, I feel like I bring a unique perspective. Because I even like been was dating after the split, which again still made no sense to do, because it's kind of like, why are you doing that if you need to get your shit together? But again, it's kind of like, dating is weird out here as well too. Like, these people are just weird in general, and this whole AI stuff and blah blah blah. And I am seeing a need and a want for authentic content, so this is kind of like what I want to do. And again, like, it's funny because when I was younger, I had a YouTube channel that was a Call of Duty commentary channel that I forgot what it talked about, but I used to do stuff like this all the time. And to see it coming back and is alive and well again, is something that I want to jump into, just because again, this was always something I did want to do. My channel was growing, but once again, it stopped because I was dating somebody else and put that on the back pedal. You see the pattern here. This is stuff that we're going to talk about. So again, no shade to anybody. Again, I love women still. I love women, but it's just like certain things you just don't know until you know. And sometimes you ignore advice that is actually good, you don't want to hear when you're younger, but like it helps you, and like one of those things is advice from my father. My father's present in my life. I still talk to him and stuff like that. I mean, we just recently started talking again. One of those things in life is like forgiving your parents for stuff, because they are human as well too. They're learning just like you in life. So a lot of things that I thought was bullshit that he was saying when I was younger was stuff that actually I'm looking at now. I was like, damn, fuck, he was right. You know what I'm saying? So like now that basically like what he did is what I want to do from the perspective of a person who is still working it out, who's starting over, who is young, but also who actually has real responsibilities to take care of, So yeah, but I tell you right now, when I came here, had a horrible mindset, and I was, still fucking up. But like right now, it's just like I'm actually really grateful to be able to have a fresh start, and I'm really grateful to have a fresh start with like things in more perspective, like things that actually make sense. And we're working on it. We're working on it. Again, I'm in school. I have my OSHA certifications, and I'm just trying to build it one step at a time. I have a lot of debt I have to clear, but again, these are things that I want to talk about on the channel, and hopefully it can help somebody out and be a little also entertaining, because I have been told that some of the shit that I have been through is kind of like this, that doesn't even seem real. And I'm like, well, I wish I could make it up, but I'm really not. So that is it, guys. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe, comments, let me know if you are restarting, and where are you restarting from. Are you 27, or are you younger, or are you older? And what's the plan of action that you have? I want to know in the comments, because as long as you have a plan, you'll be good. So yeah, we're gonna start doing this.